Hello and welcome to HTC's podcast. We are here to shine a light on hybrid's toughest characters and relive our most memorable moments. I'm Chris.
And I'm Deacon.
Let's start this thing.
Let me just say one thing. If you put any man, woman, child, or animal in front of me on a mat, I'm going to take them too. HTC, best team in Australia.
Hello and welcome to episode 7 of HTC's podcast. Today we are joined by David O'Byrne, member of the House of Assembly, member for Franklin. Welcome, David. How are you today, buddy?
Mate, I'm going very well, Chris. Great to be here and in the hot seat for the podcast. I've listened to a little bit of your work so far, and it's really enjoyable. So looking forward to the chat, and thanks for asking me.
Oh, cool, mate. Yeah, so we'll start with all the got you questions and get you set up and angry. No, not really, man. I'm just going to warn everybody today, I've had a lot of coffee. If I sound a little jittery, I've had way too much caffeine. I don't know, the hot weather we're going through at the moment.
It's before midday as well.
It's before, the crack of noon. I don't operate well before the crack of noon. It's funny, if Nikki listens to this, she's like, I know he doesn't. So, yeah, with that in mind, pardon me a little bit. Mate, one thing we were just chatting about just before we started recording is one story I want to get out of the way before we just sort of weave wherever we can. Is the grading.
Yeah, that was an interesting moment, and I take full responsibility for my error. I'd been training at the gym. I'd started in January of that year, and I'd been getting into it, and Khan and young Harry as he was starting, and yourself and Chris were all looking after us new sort of boxers. I'm one of the older guys. I'm sort of mid-50s, so it was a period of adjustment for me. And then when I was invited to the grading, I was actually quite frightened, but excited about it as to see how I'd been travelling for the year. And there were the two gradings. There was the advanced team and then moving into the fight team. And I knew that they were both times set. And I was listening to Khan, and I'm going to blame Khan, but it's clearly not his fault, it's my fault, because I got the message saying turn up at 8:30 or 8 o'clock, and Khan said I will see you at 10 o'clock on Saturday, at the last training on the Thursday before the Saturday. So I had in my head, I said, well, I've got this text, so it's clearly wrong, because Khan said that time, and anyway, I got confused. So I am prepared for it. It was a warm day, walked in, and then I saw all the people that I've been training with just finishing, and I'm thinking, oh, you dickhead. You know, you've got the wrong time, and all the fight team and these big units were all warming up. I've gone, I've just stuffed this up. That's real. I'm going to miss out. So I came over to yourself and Khan and said, look, I'm really sorry. I've got the time wrong. That's okay. I'll just do the next one. And I said, no, I reckon, how about you just give it a go? Go as far as you can. There will be some sparring. There will be some body conditioning, and we'll be doing a bit of work. But how about you just give it a go? And if at any stage it's too much, give it a call. I've gone, okay, that's because I was looking at these units, they're big units, all warming up for it. And instead of the run around the block time trials, it's not a run around the block, we're going to run to the bridge and back, it's a 5K time trial. Okay, that's fine, I'll do a bit of running, and I was pretty happy with the running. And then obviously the 7 minutes of burpees, pad work, and then the 2-minute rounds with not a lot. And it was good because you said, look, here's Dave, you really shouldn't be in this class. And I think the words were, don't take it easy on him, but just don't hurt him. It was really comforting. And look, I got through, and then the body conditioning, I think I cracked a rib probably third round, and sort of, pushed through, and people were very polite, but I went hard, and they went hard as well. And I was completely shattered after 2.5, 3 hours of training, but it was a hell of an experience. But the way at various times, people would come up in the 30 seconds break between rounds and just give me a punch or give me a slap on the back and go, mate, you're doing well, keep it up. So what I loved about it was intimidating. It was frightening at times because I'm a mid-50s bloke who hadn't done a lot. And that year had been really preparing me for hopefully being in the advanced team and coming up against all those guys. It was pretty intense. And I was really sore. I had a bit of a patchwork quilt on the abs for a little while, and I think I sat in the ice bath at home for about 3 hours. But it was one of the most, it was just a great experience because it tested me, but I knew that at no stage I was going to be really hurt. I was going to be tested, and everyone was just so supportive. So It was a hell of a baptism. I'm glad I did it. I'll get the times right next time.
Oh, absolutely, man. It's well, it's funny because I found that I think that's where you and I sort of became a bit closer then.
Yeah,
We kind of bonded through that. I remember sort of like, oh, I'm gonna check up on Dave. You look obviously, yeah, there's visible stress on your face at parts of it, especially with aspiring. And we got a couple of, I think we did 2 of the 15 rounds together.
Yeah,
you and
that's
I.
right. Yeah. And you tested me a bit as well.
Mate, you made a good account of yourself.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking to go in there and use it as a rest round for myself, and then, and what do you know? You're popping that jab out with a bit of speed and a bit of form. I'm like,
okay.
all right.
It was funny, because when you're in that sort of fight and sort of, that survival sort of moment. There was one time where I had one session of Khan. He was clearly going easy on me, and I just instinct got him with a cross, and I'm a southpaw, and so and I hit him in the head, and I thought, oh my God, he's going to kill me. And he looked at me and said, no, that was good one. And so that was really good. I mean, my ribs were killing me because I got one early, but yeah, no, it was great. And that support and that sort of we're in this together, where we're going to make this through, and I'm going to test you, and it was quite amazing. It was brilliant, and since that time we've obviously talked a lot, and when we're sort of moving in the gym, spend a bit of time. So that's a big part of why I'm still here, I reckon.
Yeah, that's really lovely to hear that. Like I know that the gradings now have nearly a bit of notoriety about them. Like the advanced team one, I guess it's challenging, but it's like uplifting. People sort of leave on a buzz, leave on a high. You talk to people after the fight team gradings, it's hard to get a word out of a lot of people. They're sitting there, you're like, oh, how do you feel? And they're like, I don't know. Like, all right, tell me next Tuesday. How about that?
Well, I got a great photo. At the end, they took a photo, and most of the units had all their shirts off and were pretty pumped. And I'm the little bloke on the corner right on the end, and I just look shattered. I'm trying to smile, but like I can't breathe. But I think it's clearly for the fight team people, they're on a different trajectory than me. It's more than just fitness and enjoyment. For them, they're doing it for a whole different set of reasons. But I can imagine for those guys, it's a crossroad moment in their journey in either grappling, Muay Thai, or boxing, or whatever. So it's actually, you can see they take it seriously, and they're respectful. Like, it's not just a bunch of guys beating the hell out of each other. It's actually they want to do the right job by each other.
Well, that probably brings me to a really important part of how you keep something like this together is when you are going through really hard things with your friends, you get a lot closer to them. So I think that fight team grading, and especially you turning up at the wrong time, was for us a really good test of the gym culture. Because I mean, like, we are our own, in a way, little society here. It's like a little microcosm of society, and I think that that good Aussie spirit of mateship, I think, is really strong in the gym. And honestly, I think you turn up at the wrong time is a really good test, a really good reflection. And the fact that you're still sticking around here, you're still one of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think also is a great reflection of that.
Yeah, and I feel a part of it. And so I'm one of the older guys in the gym, and I don't, I suppose, engage in a lot of the sparring stuff. Occasionally I've done the odd Friday night. But I still feel a part of a community here, which is really interesting. It's sort of like I played, so I suppose the reason why I came here initially, I played a lot of state league footy. I played over a decade of footy many years ago. When I retired, you sort of, your body's a bit sore, you're recovering, got into a lot of running and was really dumb about it, didn't really do any conditioning work, didn't do any flexibility or any of that sort of stuff, and then became injured. And I realised psychologically that I needed to be a part of something to create a discipline for me, but also a connection to something, because I could go for a run, but then there was always other things to do. But when you sign up for a class or you're a part of something where clearly, and it's demonstrated over a couple of years of being here, people care about you, you actually, it maintains a level of discipline and connection and desire to be better. And so how I actually found out about the gym, apart from driving past it a lot.
I love that you're saving. I was about to ask you.
I was like waiting to ask you that.
So it was funny because I'd just been watching Rob Razor Wilkinson and sort of seeing the media about it. I was at a Jack Jump. I've been thinking over that Christmas, it's Christmas period. I just got to change what I'm doing. I need to find a way to get a discipline into my physical fitness because I'm getting older and I'm struggling a bit. I'd had some mental health issues with work. Work was a bit rough for a period, and I needed to find something. And I didn't know what I was looking for, but I knew I needed to find it. So I was at the Jack Jumpers game, and I'm mates with Bull Baker, Gary Baker, and his daughter obviously goes out with Rob. And I met Rob at the basketball, and you'd see him on telly, like he's got blood all over him, punches bloke in the head for a living.
Yeah.
Like and he's a big unit, and you think, okay, it's pretty intimidating. But he was just one of the nicest guys. Chatter. You know, I was messaging Bull, his father-in-law, I suppose you call it, or step, whatever it is, father-in-law, and so, oh yeah, champion fella. The very next day, I drove past the gym and I saw his image, and then I saw the sign out the front saying $15, try as much as you want for a week. And I've gone, well, that's meant to happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so then I got on and I thought, boxing, oh yeah, bit of that, bit of CrossFit, yoga, yeah. And so then I tried everything in the first week and obviously cooked myself to try and do as much as I can. And then I just realised that particularly, yoga has changed my life, and Abby, thank you so much for that. It's taught me how to breathe and unclench your jaw. Very important things in life, both for fitness and in my job. Unclench your jaw, remember to breathe. But also the way Calm was looking out for me. And I know it wasn't just a sales job. He genuinely was saying, you know, you're doing some good stuff here, you know. If I missed a gym when I moved from that first week and then fully joined, and I'd missed the odd training morning. I usually do the mornings because there was one moment where I went to the tennis and had a big night, and I just felt like an old man smelling a booze wouldn't be the great thing to be in the gym. And so he messaged me, said, everything all right, mate? All good? And so it was, and then with the other coaches, yourself and Chris and others, like, you know, always saying hello, always saying g'day, asking how I was, not in a tick the box way, but a genuine way, you quickly feel comfortable. So the discipline of the sessions and the way, like, it's not just, like, I'd done some boxing in pre-season footy many years ago, do it for hand-eye coordination, and it was in some old geezer's yard, and it was a hard environment.
Yeah.
It was, you train hard, you show no weakness. We're not here to have fun. Where the training was not just about fitness, it was actually about technique, about defence. It's about the art of boxing. And it was in a way where you did get fit. It did test you, but it was in a really supportive, friendly way. And then obviously meeting people, other members of the gym who have now become friends, friends on social media. You see them you see them in the street, or you see them at events, and it's always good to see someone from HTC. It's like it's like a community. It's like, this is my tribe. And I did an appreciation post for the gym at the end of that first year, and it was genuine because when you go through tough bits in your life and you find a community that is respectful of you and wants to make you better, then there's an old saying I use: we all do better when we all do better, and I feel like we do better here.
Yeah, beautifully said. Yeah. Anyone I think has been interviewed a few times before, mate. Yeah, mate, very well said. That that's wow, what a story. I absolutely love all of that, and I, as somebody who's been on the other side of the cage, often seeing you after you've got your namaste in with Abby, it was visible when you first turned up to the gym. You weren't looking to engage with people, it was
just, you just didn't know, because my experience of gyms was just getting to your work.
And as somebody that's in the public eye often as well, that would be hard. That would be a really difficult thing. Like, what kind of reception am I going to get here? What kind of group have we got? And then over time, as I said, it's gone from you trying to scurry past me to, hey, where are you off to? To now we have a good chat, and hey, when am I going to see you at Friday again? And I love this place. Everyone that walks through that door is somebody I want to see. People are like, why are you so happy all the time, Chris? It's like every time that door opens, it's a face I want to see.
Yeah. That's right.
And then getting to see a visible change in somebody like yourself, who kind of went from head down, just walk through, do my yoga session, be left alone, to now on the way back up, like, hey, how you going? Hey, how are you? What's been going on? I think that's been absolutely incredible. Yeah. And another thing that you mentioned too about the Jack Jumpers game is a couple of dots I'm starting to connect here is like martial arts seems to summon people, and you're not entirely sure of the reason when it first does.
Yeah.
But you just know you got to kind of do it, and then when you get through the door, it's a case of all right, this isn't quite what I thought it was.
Yeah.
And then you start trying to find meaning for yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what I'd like to ask you about is, what meaning have you found from, say, you're doing two very contrasting things. You're doing yoga often in a good practice and discipline of that, but also then the other end of the scale, you're upstairs. You're punching him in the face. What do you get out of both ends of the scale here?
That's a really good question, and I suppose back to the sort of your earlier point about me coming in. Sometimes politicians, everyone assumes they know who you are because they've seen you on telly or they've seen you whatever, and so I didn't want to come in and be the politician. I just wanted to be Dave.
Yeah.
Just coming in, going to the gym, and so a big part of me was I just want to fit in. I don't want to be seen as someone any different. I'm just another member of the gym, and so. And if I didn't know people, I didn't want to big note myself and be, because I've got mates who say, Dave, all politicians are dickheads, mate. Oh, not you though. You're okay. And so, because that's a perception thing. And so me coming in here, I didn't want to be someone who I wasn't. I just wanted to be me, which is a big part of why I'm still here, because that's how people see me, and I think I'm pretty authentic. You know, I just am who I am here. And so the choice, because I did some CrossFit as well, but the body was sort of struggling a little bit, and I think I was trying to do too much too early. I had to work in, but I suppose the yin and the yang, the two opposites. It's I suppose when my body is at this stage, I played a lot of footy, and I played bash and crash footy. I didn't run out and receive the ball. I just put myself in silly places, and so, you know, broken collarbones and ankles, and so the body's not great. But it has improved remarkably with Abby and Ellie, obviously, on Fridays, in terms of the yoga and the core fitness and strength. And when Abby talked me through to do my first headstand, freestanding headstand for about 30 seconds, and it was one of the most relaxed places I'd ever been, was the most sort of transformational moment for me. And so initially it's all about sort of core fitness and trying to get my body right, so that I can live a long and happy life, and be active and do my bushwalking and do all that sort of stuff. So that was a part of it. But then once you understand, and when listening to Abby, and also listening to Khan about the art of the work that you do, it's hard to describe, but it's like the fact when you do boxing, everyone thinks, oh, that's great for your fitness. Yes, it is. But the techniques, where you put your body, where you put your feet, your footwork, and it's not just about strength, not just about speed, it's placement, it's how you move and how you, that dance, that beautiful dance that boxing can be at times, is mesmerising. And it's so physically with the yoga, and mentally clearing my head, getting centred, really focusing and understanding, you know, the groans and grains with all my body. You're right. It's almost like it's like a drug now, really.
Yep.
I can't do without boxing. I don't think I could do without yoga anymore. And so, is it spiritual? I think there has to be something.
I believe
there has to be something about it, because you could do it for 12 months and you can move on to another thing and you'll have all these things. But if you do it, you're consistent and you understand it. My social media feed now is all bloody boxing fights as well.
Brilliant.
So, and being a southpaw, like, you know, you got a chip on your shoulder.
So you should.
I got a chip. We're the only beautiful ones. So you guys are all awkward with you.
Oh.
So I know.
Oh,
That'll
next
go there.
Friday, you and I exchange fists, I swear.
Yes. So being a politician, being a smaller guy, and being a southpaw, like, it's us against the world kind of thing. And it's like, it is a connection now I have, and having people like Khan and yourself and Chris and Harry now, who's taken up a real role on the morning boxing. It's a real spiritual thing, I think. And I don't mean that to sound wanky, but
no, I get you.
It's the only way you can describe it.
Yeah, it's freeing. I think I guess so I'm trying to figure it all out. I really am. Like, I don't claim to be overly bright or anything like that, or overly educated. It's just,
there's always someone smarter than us.
100%, and apparently there's always someone better at fighting than us. So you find that out real quick. But what I've found so far with martial arts, like doing it since I was a kid, it was the first thing that ever Don't stop me from being a little turd, really. Like at
Yeah,
school, got to about
absolutely.
15.
Yep.
Ended up lying to mum, saying I was going to hang out with a friend, and then found a martial arts club. And then she's like, "Well, you're clearly committed. You've stuck to it. I'll support you." And then,
Yeah, brilliant.
boom. And then my behaviour improved, all that sort of stuff.
Brilliant.
Learned a lot about geometry through fighting as well. Funnily enough, what I've found is it tells you the truth. Like, a punch in the mouth is a punch in the mouth. You can't beat around the bush with it. And the other thing is it has good intent. You're aiming to get better, and it always tells you the truth. And I think something that operates on those metrics is inherently good for you.
I think that's a really good way to describe it, because it's you're constantly tested. It's not a linear path, it's a zigzag. Sometimes you're feeling good, you've got your movement going. Sometimes your legs are like bloody cement blocks.
Yeah.
And it's constantly testing you, which is, well, it's a metaphor for life. Life tests you. Everything comes at you really hard. It's like a fight in one way or another. And so understanding your limitations, understanding what you can do or can't do is really important. Understanding what you're good at, understanding what you're not good at, but also having people around you who can say, why are you dropping your shoulder like that for? Far out, I didn't realise that. So that's what's been great about the gym, because like I feel even now with some of the new starters, I don't know too much, but I know how to use the shoulders and how to, and so I help some of the young people coming up, some of the newer people as well, and I think I do okay. I think I give okay advice.
Yeah.
But it's actually you're sort of cast into the role not just of someone who constantly learning, but someone who by their actions are constantly teaching. So
contributing to to the whole microcosm we've got here, which is phenomenal.
And it is like it's because I'm big on community sporting clubs. I think they are a big part of society. People have a yearning and a need to be part of something bigger than themselves, and when you create that community, it's when you don't have it. And it's hard to describe when you do have it, but this to me is the closest thing, probably on par with some of the best football clubs I've ever played with, where you go to, you do your heart pre-season, you go to battle, not metaphorical battle, every Saturday at the footy, but you're a part of something. And I've got people that I've played football with who will be my friends forever, and I'll give them the shirt off my back. They may not vote a certain way. We may not have agreeing political ideologies, but we've been a part of something, and that is more important than what divides us or what we don't agree on. Because what brings us together was that sporting club, was that team, and I feel that in a large sense here at HTC. Yeah.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. So intent over interpretation, is that like with your friends that they know your heart, they know your intent, even if they don't agree with you on some certain metrics, it doesn't matter, because they know your intent, and you are honestly aiming for the best. Is that, am I interpreting that correctly?
At a human level, you relate, and I think the vast majority of people want to find ways to connect with people and I think value them. And I think some of the politics can be sort of noisy and whatever, but a friendship and a loyalty will surpass any minor disagreement. And the values you display and the care you show for someone is far more important than what you may say or may not say at a certain point. What's that old saying? Remember we said it to our kids, was it? People, you may remember what people remember what you won't remember what you say. They'll remember how you make them feel. Yeah, so I get that. So sometimes there's a bit of banter in politics. Yeah. But I know, even with people I disagree with, I know that if I was in a spot, they wouldn't abandon me. They've got my back. And I feel in all my footy career, HTC is probably on par with that. I feel it's a little bit different because you're not playing, you're not going out as much socially together where you would in a footy club. But I know at the gym and when I see people out, we're a part of the same tribe.
Part of the same tribe.
There's a connection there, and we'll always be kind to each other because that's the ethos of the gym.
Yeah. Wow. Now I know I'm hogging all the time, Deacon.
Nah,
Sorry,
yeah,
man. I'm sorry, but I want to know because I mentioned footy a few times.
He's about to grapple me. He's heading off to Adelaide.
He might do it. He'll wig out. He'll act all weird in a minute. Favorite footy club you've played for? I'm intrigued now. If they've got that place in your heart, I want to hear a little bit about that, please.
All of them in degrees. My first football club was sort of East Launceston, South Launceston Footy Club, the Bulldogs in Lonnie.
Yep.
And that will always so when you grow up as an 18, 19-year-old playing junior, and playing in finals with those guys, I always had a connection there, and that club has a special place in my heart. I moved to Adelaide for a couple of years and played with Adelaide University Footy Club, which is in the amateurs over there, and friends for life, great experience. Then I came down here and played with Sandy Bay and Southern Cats. Neither of those clubs exist anymore. Had a season coaching at university. All of them in different degrees for different reasons. As a young man, because you when you're learning about life and lifelong friendships are established. When you're a bit older in a different place, like I moved to Adelaide, had some friends over there.
Yeah.
I walked into a football club, I immediately had a family.
That's awesome.
And so for different reasons, that was really important. And then when I came back here and got better at football and started to play senior football seriously, that holds a special place in my heart with Sandy Bay and Southern Cats. So all for different reasons. I suppose the first one's always the most powerful.
Right, yeah.
And that's probably the formative years, say South Lonnie.
How did you find the difference between playing and then eventually coaching?
Oh, well, I was playing coach.
Yeah.
And I probably should have just been a coach because I'd retired from state league footy for a year, and they convinced me to come out and coach. And I was a bit old and slow and a little bit indiscriminately violent. Because I just had remember I was a young fella playing, and I'm obviously smaller.
Yeah.
And I was getting knocked around a bit, and coach said, just give them one early, they won't come back.
Yeah.
And so I got reported a few times, and I'm not proud of that because you shouldn't be throwing punches on the footy field.
I'm proud of you.
But I remember there was anyway. So I threw a few because I felt like I had to defend myself. But also, in a couple of times there was a rule that you fly the flag for your mate. I remember I was under 19, I was like 17, 18-year-old. I played an under 19 game and the reserves were short. They said, oh mate, can you play a second game in the one day? Played 4 quarters. Gone, yep, okay, started on the bench but played. And there was a big Bernie unit, big Bernie fella, who was a senior player but was coming back through injuries through the reserves. And he picked up one of our guys and threw him into the fence. And instinctively I've gone, well, I'm flying the flag here. So he was probably 6'1", 6'2", brick shit house.
Yep.
And so I went in and threw a couple and we're in. We work it out, bit of a melee, we move on. And at the end of the game, shaking hands, and I heard him say, where's that little fella? Where's that little bastard?
Yeah.
And I've gone, oh shit, far out, he's going to go on again. And he, big paw, big hand out going, good on you fella, you do well. You went well there, son.
That's awesome.
Okay, so I had in answer to, not sure whether coaching. So anyway, that's right. We got indiscriminately violent.
Yeah.
And so I was getting grumpy with myself because I couldn't do what I could normally do, and I was still playing footy, but not up to the standard I really wanted. So I was getting frustrated. So the difference between playing and coaching is that coaching you need to cajole, support, inspire, and communicate in a way where the player understands. When you're playing, you can say, this is what we need to do. So you demonstrate by showing, and being a part of the game and thinking. And when you're on the bench and you're a coach, you got to yell or you send out a runner and communicate. So communication's crucial. So it's harder being a playing coach because you can't see the full ground and what's going on.
Yep.
So you rely on people to help you out there. But it's easy because you can demonstrate by showing.
Yeah, definitely.
Where being a coach, you have to find ways to connect, communicate, understand game plan, and get people to play their role.
As a playing coach, would you find you kind of felt maybe the pressure? Because as you said, you have to perform, you have to lead.
You had to lead, get a kick, and help win. We weren't that successul, so maybe it didn't work. But no, the pressure's massive on that. And so, but again, it also, and footy has evolved over the years where there's a greater acceptance of more people coaching, more people playing a role. Whereas before it was, like the playing coach or the playing assistant coaches all had the responsibilities. And so that it was a very centralised leadership model, where now a lot of the team sports have a dispersed, forward line, midfield, back line, on ballers, all that sort of stuff. They have a dispersed leadership model where I think the instructional aspect is sort of dispersed across a lot of people. As long as they're all coherent is very important. So it's changed. It was pressure, but when you love something, mate,
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, you're
Feel
in
the same thing here, right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. No, I couldn't agree more, man.
Yeah. And there are times, the thing is, like, your love of something will get you through the moments, like hard sessions where you think, I can't do it, it's just too hard, why am I doing this? And you go, because I love it, let's get it done. And again, a supporting environment. So that dispersed leadership is just as important as dispersed support in a gym environment.
It's funny too, because sometimes when you get past those hard times, you're like, I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, exactly. And you get that high. You know when you're in a good space, when the training gives you a high, and you feel like you can't keep on going forever, but you feel like you could go again.
Definitely.
Like I could do another session here, but you've got to work to your training regime, and that's where the other people come and go, hold back again. If you go too fast, too quickly, yeah.
Nice. Sorry, totally different topic. Just something that's crossed my mind.
Yep.
Is, like I said, we've over the past two and a bit years, but we've become mates. As like we'll call you as an elder member of the gym.
Yeah. And well, if Mark's listening to this, Marky Mark, the great
Mark Burling.
Yeah, Mark Burling. He's clearly younger than me, but we're the old guys of the gym, I think. Yeah.
He's still got abs and he's over 50.
It's remarkable.
Yeah, he's shredded.
Stud.
Yeah.
Stud of life.
He
That's
works
one thing
hard.
I've
He's a good
found
man.
is through training for you guys in their 40s and 50s through here. I'm not scared of aging as much as I used to be. You guys are awesome. It's really fun. I'm like, there's hope. It's all right. It's not all doom and gloom.
It's not the end of the world, but you can see it from here, kind of thing. That's right.
Absolutely. Now, I think you and I have kind of bonded over. You've been quite vulnerable with me, to be honest. Like we've had some. It's not just surface level chit chat. Like we've had some really good chats about how you're feeling, how your life's going, what's intel for the future, what you're going through. That vulnerability. Okay, somebody who's said now in their 50s.
Yeah.
Have you found that culture of men being able to communicate better? Like how have you perceived that change over time? Is that something you're seeing? Just through here or through other parts of society, like say as a politician as well, are people as vulnerable or are you a bit more hidden?
Well, I mean, again, it's, I think as a generalisation, you'd have to say, yes, more people, more males are opening up about how they're really travelling. For many years, like, show no weakness, you're okay, everything's okay, mate, nothing to do with you, I'm fine. Like, particularly in my 20s and 30s, playing in footy clubs, a lot of bravado. And you knew, well, you didn't know, but you knew people were going through some shit, going through some tough times, but you'd struggle to, well, how do he's a mate, well, okay, let's just go and have a beer.
Yeah.
And you find ways to not talk about it, but to be with them. But that, that's only superficial. I think, stay chatty. I think, are you okay day? And I think male leadership being vulnerable, and that's what I found through, 3 or 4 years ago, really rough patch with work, and it was very public, and it was just god awful. I was dehumanised. It was just the shittiest of times. And I felt that, I'm not going to lie about how I felt about that. I'm not going to hide how I feel. If people ask me, if it's a genuine, how you going? Yeah, good mate, no worries. But they go, no, but hey, how you going? And they go, okay, well, I'll tell you, because you've asked, you're interested. I'm not going to dump on you. I'm not going to sort of, collapse around you, but I'll be open more about some of the challenges I'm having because I know how I would feel. And you sort of walk in the shoes of other people and they go, well, if I see someone at the gym and we talk a lot and I feel like they're a friend, and if there's an opportunity for me to help that person and I didn't take it up, I'd be really shitty with myself. I feel like I'd let them down because I know, having gone through tough things in my life, it's the people who either you barely know or know at an event or a function who say the right thing at the right time to help you through it. You just never know, a word, a hand on the back, a word, mate, we're thinking about you.
Yeah.
Through that time, there are people, there's an old saying, if you want a friend in politics, you get a dog. Because it is such a brutal and dehumanizing and can be a really toxic environment. And it was, and during the period that I experienced, it was very toxic. And so those people who I expected to be there were not.
Yeah.
And it was other people who stepped up because they were humans. They were really good, decent humans who had a heart. There was no skin off their nose, just to say, mate, you're okay. We know you. We know who you are. We don't, let's go. Let's grab a coffee. Let's go grab a beer. Let's go for a run. You know, that kind of stuff. And it's, I think, it's sort of a long answer to that question. I think absolutely we've come a long way in people, particularly buffy blokes, being able to sort of say, I'm struggling a bit. I need some help. And I think it's really important because, I'm sure we all know people who are not here.
Yeah.
Should be here.
100%, and it's just so heartbreaking to to think of geez, at what stage could they have been helped?
And you could you think about all the what ifs and whatever you can't, but all you've got to do is to I think just when the opportunity presents, it's not a test, it's not a right or wrong, it's a hand around the shoulder, it's a you're right, mate, we're with you. It's all and it's the little as much as you can do, and it makes a massive difference. So I think. And places like I hear it in the gym. People are open. People are talking about it. There's a bit of bravado and a bit of the banter which is hilarious. Some more funny than others. Eric. But it's just, I think the answer is yes. We're more open about it, but it's still a constant challenge for people to do it. So definitely don't miss the opportunity.
Okay, and another one of my famous weird questions that I haven't really formed in my head before my mouth opens.
That's right, you seem to be working it out now.
So, to you, because I think that it does to me, so I'm trying to make a bit of connection, is I think that martial arts and boxing and stuff gives me the strength to be, well, not weak, but vulnerable. Like when...
That's a really good point.
I think that might be the case. Is people know that I have a bit of character, and I can push through hard things, and therefore I feel like I can be more authentically myself and more honest about it.
Yep.
And then from there, do you believe that vulnerability, that honesty, do you think that can help you politically as well? Do you think that you can carry those values and that honesty across? Has it changed the way you operate as somebody serving the community, as a public servant?
Yeah, okay. So the first bit of that question, I think there's a self-belief. I think what martial arts, what boxing has done for me is giving me a self-belief that I can handle myself. And so I'll never be the best. I'll always, find someone who can shoulder tap me or give me a clip pretty easily. But I know that I can handle myself. So there's a self-belief and a self-confidence about who you are and what you can do inside there, and the relationships you sort of build during the training sessions. So the second part of that question, has it helped? I think it's made me... I think the short answer is yes, it has. But it's actually, not a foundational stone. It's just built on... It's allowed me to be... I'm fitter. I've got better core strength. The yoga has helped remarkably. So the aspects of the gym, it's made me a better person. I think you have to say that. Because it has. Because when you're tired and you're sore and whatever, and you're not fit, you're not doing the work, you're not getting that dopamine sort of rush from physical exercise. I think you are down on yourself. You get you hunch your shoulders, and so and the importance of posture in yoga and boxing, crucially important. Don't put your chin up too high, of course, in boxing. But I think it does. It has absolutely helped me, and it's reaffirmed in me that I just don't live in a political world. How many people in the gym have really extensive political sort of partisan conversations? They talk about politics all the time, but they don't talk about party politics all the time. I remember when I put in a private members bill around public housing and blinds and curtains, which wasn't a right for people in public housing. I had 3 people in the gym in the next couple of days. One I sort of knew and would talk to a lot, and 2 other people who I'd sort of nodded and done the occasional spar with. came out and said, "Oh, you're the bloke who did that. Yeah, good on you. Well done. That's good." So we talk about politics all the time, and that's what I've heard in the gym. Not about the he said, she said, Trump or whatever.
Oh, the noise.
Yeah. That's blah blah blah.
Yeah,
that's just white noise. But people talk about their life. They talk about their jobs, their work. That's politics to me. And so knowing that I'm in an environment where I'm at ease and people are at ease with me, I think gives me the confidence to be a better politician, doesn't it?
I would assume so.
Yeah.
And I guess like when you're not worried about being guarded up all the time, you're like you'd be hearing more genuinely from people how you can serve them, I suppose.
Yeah.
Now, one last little question. So I like to boil politics into something relatively simple if I can.
Okay. Yep.
Do you have a value that leads you? Is there something that you kind of refer back to just in your mind where you're like,
value.
Yeah, just like a core value that when you're making your decisions, when you're thinking about, is this good, is this bad? If you have to really think about it, is there a core value that leads you?
Compassion.
Because
sometimes you're making decisions about people who've made really poor decisions, or they're in an environment where it's of their own making or whatever. But at the end of the day, just say, okay, people are all, there's a redemption in everyone. People make mistakes or people get themselves in spots where they need help. Don't be judgy. Just care. Show some compassion. Be inquisitive, because sometimes you don't know what's going on in their lives or all the things that happen around it. So if it's to distill it down to one word, it's just compassion. Just care about people, for goodness sake. Life's too short to be a prick.
Yeah.
Like it's
nice. There's your campaign line. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, life's too short to be a prick. Don't be a dick. I really like that. Now, is there anything else you'd like to ask?
No, we just hit 12 o'clock.
We've just hit 12 because you've got to head off.
Yep.
Now, I love getting a promise out of a politician.
Okay, how much money do you need?
Give me a time frame of when I'll see you again on a Friday night.
On a Friday night. Well, I did look at the diary. I've just registered for the bridge run, so I'm doing a lot more running at the minute. And I don't like to. Let me have a look at my diary, but it will be within the next fortnight.
So one of the next two.
Night, or I'll come along.
Okay, cool. So when this podcast comes out, I'll be able to tell you if he has fulfilled his promise.
Done.
And that's really, I was hoping for sometime in the next month or so. But,
no, I need to do it. I've been wanting to do it, but it's because in my job you get invited to a whole lot of functions and events on Fridays.
Yes, of course.
And you just can't. A lot of community groups have events, and you just don't want to let them down. And so by turning up and supporting them, even if it's just for half hour or so, it's really important to them.
Yeah. And
it's important for me to support them. So sometimes I just literally can't make it, but I want to.
Okay.
As long as you find me a nice little southpaw we can work against, that'll be good.
I'll stand southpaw for a round with you.
Hey, there was a disturbance in the force yesterday. What's today? Thursday, Tuesday morning at boxing. 5 southpaws. It was just a beautiful moment. I think we almost outnumbered Orthodox. It was a great moment.
It must be like gremlins. If somebody fed them after midnight, or if they put water on them, something like that.
Even I think that's disgusting.
There you go. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's outrageous.
And somebody else you might bump into, I've been trying to contact. He hasn't got back to my message. Mr. Barakas, when you see him, let him know. I'll start stirring him up each podcast, maybe.
Was he promising to come along and he hasn't turned up?
Well, no, I haven't actually got that out of him yet.
Okay, yeah.
But I was just checking in on him.
The gym, and he goes, mate, life's busy and I'm out of the routine. I said, it's only one way to get back in the routine, mate.
100%.
Get back in the routine.
Because I love having a giggle with him and a stir up with him.
He's hilarious.
In his defence, because he's a member of the party, they on Parliament days they have caucus meetings at 8 a.m. And so I'm trying to be friendly and give him an excuse, but it is sometimes the politics life. We work 7 days a week, and I'm not whinging about it. I'm not complaining. It's the life.
Yep.
I enjoy it, but we do a lot of hours. And so, in his defence, although last time he sparred with me, we did a shoulder tag. I had 2 big fat Greek fingers up to the first knuckle in there. So, he didn't do it deliberately.
I don't know.
He definitely.
I don't know. It's not out of action. So you had a chance to throw him under the bus, and you didn't. Congratulations to you. But when you bump into him, you stir him up from me.
We'll
Give
do
him a good stir up.
Too easy.
David, thank you so much for joining us today, man. Really appreciate your time. I know you're a busy dude.
That's all good.
And man, that was so fun. I look forward to sparring with you soon.
Absolutely. Thank
All
you.
the
for
love in the world, brother.
Yeah,
that was awesome. Thank you.
You too. Cheers, mate.